Hello Chris, it's James here from the Toffee Blues YouTube channel and podcast. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into Everton ahead of our FA Cup 5th round tie on Wednesday evening. Of course, our season so far has been very much a mixed bag. I mean, we've had runs where we've won a load of games. We went top of the league at one stage in the early months of the season. Then we lost a few games. Then we picked up again, won a few games. Then it's been a bit of a mixed bag since. So it's been a very interesting season. I mean, it's been a very interesting season for everybody, I think, given the circumstances. I think the lack of fans has made a major difference to the way things have gone. I mean, we find ourselves 7th, I think, in the table at the moment. I haven't actually had a chance to look at the table since a few more of the results, including your own. Of course, you guys beat West Bromwich Albion on Sunday. But, yeah, so far our season's been decent. It's been a major improvement on last season, and I think we'll be definitely looking to qualify for Europe. I think we'll be disappointed if we don't at the end of the season. I think top 6 has got to be the aim, and hopefully we'll get that. In terms of our standout players, I think obviously the acquisition of James Rodriguez has been the big one. He's been the creator in chief. He troubles any team that he comes up against. Of course, I think every single player we signed last summer has been an improvement on what we had, and all the players that we've signed have been standout players. I think Abdoulaye Doucouré's improved our midfield, made us more aggressive, and we're going to need that against you guys because you've got the likes of Højbjerg and Ndombele who are fighters themselves in the middle of the park. Ben Godfrey has been a really good signing. He's been able to play anywhere across the back four, which has made us. We've needed it because we've had a lot of injuries, so his flexibility has been crucial, and he's proven to be an excellent defender. So I think every player we signed in the last window has been the standout player, but obviously above all else, I'd say it'd be James Rodriguez. He's obviously the star man. He provides the service. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's doing really well for goals this season. He's done well, but he couldn't have done it without James Rodriguez and his service. I think James has got to be the standout man in our team. In terms of the Spurs players, I think the Spurs players which probably worry me the most would have to be obviously Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, and probably whoever the third person is in that three-pronged attack, because whoever you play, whether it's Lucas Moura or Steven Bergwijn, I think either of those will cause us some problems. I think Harry Kane's the main one. I think we've got to get to grips with him, and that might be able to help us control the rest of things, but Harry Kane's such a nightmare of a striker to play against. I mean, it's never easy, and I'm certainly not looking forward to coming up against him. It would have been better if he'd have been injured for an extra week. Maybe that might have done us a bit of a favour. But, it is what it is. We've got to face Harry Kane, and, our defenders are going to have to be on their A game. They're definitely players who concern me, I think, again. And Ndombele's done really well this season as well, so he'll probably join in the attacks as well, and we'll have to be mindful of his presence as well. There's a lot there. It's definitely the attack which is the concern. In terms of the defensive side of things, I think you guys are obviously quite well drilled under Mourinho, but I think some personnel are quite limited. I think that's where maybe we can hurt you guys. I think it's going to be a case of, I think we'll have to defend, very well, and it's going to be a case of when we get forward, can we trouble you guys? I think we can, but our players, like I say, are going to have to be on their A game to make sure that we can do that. My thoughts on, of course, Jose Mourinho as the manager is, I think he's done a very good job. Similar to what Carlo Ancelotti's done at Everton, I think he's maybe a few steps ahead. I think Spurs' squad are a few steps ahead of ours in terms of where they want to be. Jose Mourinho obviously took over Spurs. I think you were in the bottom half when he took over last season. He has ended up 6th. It was a pretty decent first half a season or so. This season, obviously, is about 7th or 8th in the table yourselves. You're somewhere around us. I actually haven't looked at the league table since you guys won, so you might have gone above us. But where he's at, it's probably, about right in terms of how your performance has been this season. It's not necessarily been pulling any trees up, but I still think Mourinho's got you guys on the right track. He's had some injury problems, which might have derailed the campaign, but I think he's on the right track under Jose Mourinho. He's a very good pragmatic manager. He picks and chooses when he wants to take on certain tactical systems, and I think that'll always get the best out of players. I'm surprised more managers don't do it that way. I think Carlo Ancelotti is another manager who does that, and I see a lot of similarities between the two. But yeah, Jose, I think he's taking you guys in the right direction. I think he's a better opportunity for you guys to win silverware under him than there is under anyone else. He's as proven a winner as there is. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much if you were a Spurs fan right now with Jose Mourinho in charge. I'm sure he'll deliver at least some silverware before he leaves. There's not going to be any issue on that front as far as you guys are concerned, and we've just got to hope that Carlo's the same. In terms of the trophy drought, I think both teams haven't won trophies for a while. Spurs 12 years going on 13. Everton it's 25 going on 26. So it's really disappointing for both sides. I think Everton in particular will be really angry about the situation with the trophies, and I think that doesn't help the players, to be honest with you, especially at Everton. I think the lack of silverware weighs on any player that comes to the door at Everton because the fans are so desperate for the club to end that drought, and the pressure is immense on the players. Even though we're not expecting to be winning the league every season, but there's still a lot of pressure on Everton players, probably more so than there is at even some of the top six teams. Spurs in the similar position, I think. It's we've always both been similar sides in terms of we've always been quite nearly meant kind of clubs. I think Spurs are a few steps ahead, like I said before, in terms of winning silverware. I think that helped that you guys had a lot more money than we had in the past. I think one of the main reasons that Everton have struggled for silverware since 1995 is the lack of investment. That was the case until about 5 years ago, since 2015. I think, or 2016, we were taking over. Until then, we had next to no investment, and the owner as well, Bill Kenwright, the chairman, was also a very unambitious owner. He was pretty much poisoned the club with a mindset that the club was happy to accept finishing sixth or seventh every season and not winning anything. I think that was a very bad era, to be honest, as much as it was relatively stable and never really looked in any danger of doing any worse than mid-table. The fact that he made that appear acceptable, I think that was bad news, and that's poisoned the club. And it's a hard, stench to get rid of once it's within the club. I think Spurs had similar problems. I think you guys got out of it a bit quicker than we did. Certainly for the last decade or so, you guys have been regulars in the top six, but it hasn't helped just your cause in terms of pursuing silverware teams. I'm not sure why that is. I'll be honest, at Spurs, I think you guys do need a proven winner in charge, as do we, and I think both clubs are in the right place now to kick on. But in terms of Spurs, I think it's just literally a case of maybe just a few wrong decisions with managers and personnel. I think it's not quite as embedded in the club to accept mediocrity. I think the fans are really pushing for silverware, and as are ours. But I just think that the Spurs system, the sort of ownership, and everything's in a very good place. And of course, the new stadium as well. So I think everything's well placed now, and now you've got the manager to deliver that silverware. And I'd like to think that Everton's heading in the same direction under Carlo Ancelotti. Finally, of course, the score prediction for this game. I'm going to go with an Everton win 1-0. I think it's going to be a very tight and cagey affair. I'm sure Spurs fans will say a similar result in Spurs' favour. It's going to be a very, very close fought game. In terms of the lineup, I think we'll see the full strength team. I think it'll be, Robin Olsen will play because Jordan Pickford's still injured. I think we'll see the back four entirely of centre backs, Mason Holgate at right back and Godfrey at left back. Michael Keane and Yerry Mina in the middle. Alan's touch and go for this game. I don't think he'll start. I think it'll be Tom Davis in defensive midfield with Abdoulaye Doucouré and probably Andre Gomez. And then I think up front it'll probably be the usual three of James Rodriguez cutting in off the right, Richarlison on the left, and of course Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the line up top, and he'll be the one who will be looking to hurt you guys. I think we'll be looking to ping a lot of passes into him and get him to make the ball stick. I think it'll be a very direct approach from us, and hopefully that pays dividends. I'm going to say it's a 1-0 win, but I'm sure you guys will beg to differ. So anyway, that's my insight into this game. Looking ahead, best of luck of sorts, I guess. But we'll see you soon. Thanks for having me on, Chris.